OpenAI have just released a new series of O3 models, and first impressions aren't great. I think the blog post that they released actually on the official OpenAI blog says it all, where testers preferred O3 Mini's responses over O1 Mini's just 56% of the time. That's not a great look for a company that's come under a lot of pressure since the Chinese competitor's release of DeepSeek R1. On a positive note, O3 Mini is meant to be more efficient. It gives you more messages per day. It's moved. O1 Mini had 50 messages per day on the paid tier, the $20 a month tier, and that's now gone up to 150 messages with O3 Mini. It is fast and nippy as well. That's one thing to note. Let's get stuck into this and brainstorm some ideas for YouTube titles. You see, like the first result, O3 Mini unboxing, first impressions, is it worth it? It clearly doesn't know what it is you're talking about here. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt here and give it some more information about what O3 Mini is so it can better craft the YouTube titles. I'm going to copy and paste this blog post in as well to give it as much information as possible. It is noticeably quick. They've clearly optimized it for speed and low resource consumption. There's another model that ships with this as well, which is O3 Mini High. This is great at coding and logic. Probably not ideal for this task. We'll try it anyway with the same prompt to see if it gets any better results. It's quite interesting that it's actually laying out the thought process in a similar way to DeepSeek does. This seems to come up with some more usable titles that are actually quite useful. Let's compare it to the old model now, which is ChatGPT 4.0. I still think ChatGPT 4.0 does a better job overall of brainstorming titles. This is what I was using on a day-to-day basis, this is still a better response that I'm looking for. Bear in mind that ChatGPT 4.0 was released in over 6 months ago now, in May 2024. It seems almost like we've taken a step backwards. A lot of this is to do with chain of thought reasoning, and the way chain of thought reasoning in the O1 and the O3 models works is it thinks through a problem in advance. It runs queries on how to solve the issue or the question effectively before it actually runs the data for those queries, so producing the final output, if you like. I expect the latest models, the O3 Mini, is more efficient than the older models, and that is going to provide cost savings to OpenAI and make it more available. In contrast to that, they've now got these payment plans where they're trying to get people to move from $20 a month up to $200 a month. You know, OpenAI is not a non-profit anymore, it's a for-profit organization. It's also closed source, which again, competitors are open sourcing their models. DeepSeek, Llama, I think we're getting to a stage where this is perhaps more competitive. The fact you have search available here as well, and you don't have that in the latest O3 Mini and O3 Mini High. It doesn't have real-time web browsing capability, so it can't find latest information on tech trends. I think this is really bad for OpenAI, and it's going to be a kickback from this. That is probably why they've released it in the middle of the night on a Friday after the stock market closes. But people are going to wake up to this, Monday's going to come around, and there's going to be a fallout that this isn't revolutionary. It's not a big step forwards for AI. It's certainly not anywhere near AGI. And perhaps OpenAI is suffering from a loss of key personnel throughout the last year. There was one more thing that I wanted to look at for devs particularly, and that was O3 Mini High's ability to write code and work on more complex queries, which is what it should excel at. This is what chain of thought processing should do better at, maths and coding. I'm asking it a slightly difficult question. I'm asking to write a Solidity smart contract, which is a niche programming language for blockchain stuff. And it would need knowledge of the tokens that are going to be used here to complete this query. Now, it's done a reasonable job, done a chain of thought type process as well, and that's transparent, which is good. But the actual end product is completely unusable. It's not how a programmer would write this code. They've kind of hard coded in the different functions for ERC20 tokens. They've got kind of standard interfaces in there. They can import that in from libraries, standard OpenZeppelin libraries. It's kind of thing that you want to see, if you gave this job to a junior developer, they might take a week. They would come back with something usable, something working, and something which looks reasonable. This is not as good as what I'd expect even a developer with maybe 6 months experience writing Solidity coding to do. Admittedly, it's a niche kind of language. If it was a simpler task on JavaScript, it would probably excel at it. If you wanted to shuffle and arrange JavaScript, this model, any other AI model can do that. Giving it a real world task to complete, and this is the result, isn't ideal. It's completely unusable. After that, I asked it to use the OpenZeppelin ERC20 libraries to remove standard functions and interfaces, and that came back a little bit better, but still the code, it's not like you could even think about deploying this or even going through kind of the security auditing process. It's not ready for that in any way, shape or form. So yeah, probably not the use you were hoping for with O3 Mini. It's not AGI, it's not really revolutionary, and it's not really better than the models we had from OpenAI 6 months ago, in my opinion. I think they're probably going on the right path with chain of thought, but it needs a lot of customization work. And their competitors are catching up now. DeepSeek's come up with this R1 model, which is arguably better. It's certainly more usable for general kind of text processing, finding trending topics. The fact that it has the ability to search the web and get like up-to-date data is really powerful. It probably has a regulatory advantage where it has less red tape around AI safety, and they can just connect it to the web without kind of going through a bunch of committees on that. But OpenAI needs to do something. The fact that 44% of internal testers preferred the old model to the new one, that should be an alarm bell. It's like this shouldn't have probably gone out, but they've clearly got nothing else to provide. We're nowhere closer to ChatGPT 5 than we were maybe 6 months ago. This isn't a big advancement. It's not a step forwards really, or a large step forwards. And it could be argued that maybe OpenAI have lost their way while competitors are circling. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to stay up to date related to emerging technology and global events, then subscribe to the channel, hit the like button to train the algorithm, and thank you for watching.